What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. And in today's video we're going to be adding the F80 paddle shifter as well as adding the F80 steering wheel trim for the steering wheel. It should be fairly simple. All we have to do is remove the steering wheel, the airbag, and drill a couple holes for the paddle shifters on the back, and just swap all the modules and wiring harnesses, and that should be it. So it should be a fairly simple install, and yeah, should be a fairly short video. Alright, so the first step of the process is you're going to want to go ahead and disconnect the battery, especially when you're working with anything electrical, or especially the airbag. So all you got to do is pop the trunk, get in here, loosen this, pull back, and there you go. There's your battery, and it's just going to be a 10mm, and just go ahead and loosen that up and set it aside somewhere safe. Alright, so once you have the negative terminal for the battery disconnected, you can go ahead and, just for safety, put a microfiber towel over the trunk latch just in case this closes. This is going to be there to make sure it doesn't close fully. So now that that's all sorted out, you can go ahead and go back into the driver's side and go ahead and start working on the steering wheel. Alright, so here we are with the steering wheel, and to remove the airbag from the steering wheel, what you're gonna have to do is grab your favorite skinny screwdriver or flathead. I have an assortment just because I'm not too sure how skinny it needs to be. And if you see closely right here, this is where you insert your flathead, and there should be a clip. You can kind of see it in the reflection. Let me see if we can get a flashlight. Right there. What you want to do is insert your flathead and press on that tab, and that tab should release the airbag, and just do it for the other side. And once the airbag is released, you can go ahead and get access to that 17mm bolt holding the entire steering wheel together. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this airbag out. Alright, so I got one side out, as you can see. It's protruding a little bit out, and I'll show you guys. So you're going to want to insert your flathead like this way, and you'll feel the clip once you're in. And once you're in, just go ahead and gently push down against it, and it should release. And once this airbag is out, I can show you the whole mechanics of it, and on the inside, and how the whole release clip works. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side, and it should pop out. So I went ahead and removed the other side of the clip to release the airbag. So as you can see, it's released. And what you're gonna do next is take those two plugs out, and the airbag should come out. Okay, so I removed the airbag. It's free from the steering wheel, and you can just set it aside just like that. Actually, put it on the ground just like so. Alright, so we could show you how the airbag clip works. So just insert your flathead like this. Okay, so I have my flathead right here, and you can see the clip right there. And what you're going to do with the flathead is just push like that, and it should release the airbag. And you should be grabbing the airbag with your other hand, prying it just a little bit and releasing it at the same time, and it should pop out. So now that's done, we could go ahead and start removing the 17mm bolt and taking out the steering wheel. Alright, so get your 17mm, and it's going to require a lot of force, and what you can do is you can kind of brace your knee on the steering wheel so it doesn't move. And once you break that loose, it should just come right out. Like so. You can set that aside so we're safe. Once that's done, just give it a few back and forth. And it should come right out. So now we could go ahead inside because it's really hot. Go ahead inside and start swapping all the components and install the paddle shifters. Alright, so we escaped the heat and we're inside now. And here's the steering wheel. And now we can go ahead and start disassembling everything by taking a T15 and just unscrewing all the bolts right here. And just to show you the comparison, this is the M Sport steering wheel trim, and this is the M30 steering wheel trim. And I kind of wrapped it to match the mineral gray color. It's not the best wrap job, but I think it's alright. It'll pass. And here are the F80 paddles. And this is the necessary wiring harness to make everything work. So I'm going to go ahead and get started by disassembling this wheel, and I'll check back with you guys when it's all done. Alright, so this is where I'm at. I got everything pretty much disassembled. Probably takes like 2 minutes. I have the steering wheel controls right here, and now we're just gonna have to swap the wiring harness to the new one. Here is the old steering wheel trim right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out how to wire everything up together, and yeah, I'll check back in. Okay, so I have everything mocked up right here. As you can see, let's see if I can do this with one hand. Okay. Alright, so this is the F80 paddle. As you can see, you put the wiring loom in that hole, and looks like everything mounts up. But what we have to do is go ahead and drill out a hole. Come on, focus. Drill out a hole for this section right here so that we can mount the actual paddle to the wheel, and it should be right here. Now some steering wheels do come pre-drilled already. I guess this one isn't. It might have came out of a manual car. And what we also have to do is create 2 dimples, or maybe just one right here, because that section also hits too. Gonna go ahead and get my drill bit and see how much we need to cut or drill. Alright guys, so on updates, I went ahead and used a drill bit to bore out this hole for the mounting hardware for the paddles right here. And then I also, on the back side right here, I made a dimple for focus for the F80 paddles as well. See, this is the stock steering wheel, and this is the modifications needed to install the F80 paddles. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side, and from then on it should be pretty straightforward, just reinstalling all the OEM parts. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put everything back together. We got the paddle shifters on, nice and tight. We got the F80 steering wheel trim on, the new wiring harness on, the steering wheel controls on, and all we have to do now is just put it back onto the car and see if we have to get the paddle shifters coated. If we do, then we'll probably have to find someone who is able to do that. If not, then we should be ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the steering wheel back on, and see you guys back in the garage. Alright, so we're back in the car. I'm gonna go ahead and put the steering wheel back on and the airbag, and we'll fire it up and we'll see if we have to get coated. If not, we're good to go. If not, if we do, we'll probably have to find someone to code our paddles. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. Alright, so the wheel is pretty much in. We just need the bolt and the airbag, but now's a good time to just double check everything to make sure all your wires are connected, your grounds are connected, and yeah, just do it once over and make sure everything's right, so you don't have to go back and redo everything. So now I'm gonna put the airbag on, and yeah, we'll see how the complete steering wheel looks. Alright, so the install is pretty much complete. We got the steering wheel trim on, the paddle is mounted and connected, and yeah, all you have to do is fire her up and see if they actually... Alright, so we went ahead and finished up the install, and I went ahead and tested it, and I guess my car was already pre-wired to have paddles, so I actually didn't need to code it, and it worked fine. So here is the F80 steering wheel trim with the mineral gray wrap. It's not the best job, but I mean, it's definitely passable. Here are the paddle shifters that we put in. And yeah, I think overall it just gives it a much nicer look and feel. I actually got the steering wheel off of someone, and it actually didn't have paddles, so I was running without paddles for the longest time, so it's good to finally have paddles again. And yeah, I think they just feel better than the regular M Sport ones. But yeah, and then you can find these online for about like 80 to 100 bucks, so it's not that expensive. So yeah, give it a thumbs up if you guys like this video, and comment, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram. Thanks guys.